You're watching Pyro Media Network.
Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We hope your experience is fruitful. Please feel free to visit our website to find out how you can join our growing family. While we are loading your experience, please do us a quick favor and hit that like button from whichever platform you're watching or listening on. Also, share so others may enjoy as well. And we hope you would consider hitting that subscribe or follow button so you can check out more of our amazing content. All right, let's start the show.
Christian ain't good with forgiving, ain't turning my cheek, now I'm raising that pistol. Lord, forgive me. With all my prayers, with all my strength, with all my pain, I'm fighting this war. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. No turning back, 'cause I'm free.
Hey, spread the word to my people. The spirit fell on me, told me fight against the evil, not turn. Not turn, yeah. Fuck the sticks now, nigga, give me burners. Hold up, hey, spread the word to my people. God, spirit fell on me, told me fight against the evil, not turn. Not turn. We in the sticks, and we all got burners. Hold up, voices in my head say I need to be.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Dirty Laundry, the podcast with KO. Here we pull no punches and dive headfirst into the challenging conversations that our community needs to have, from economics and inner city violence to abortion, religious fanaticism, white folks, and everything in between. We tackle the issues that shape the Black experience with honesty, courage, and a vision for growth. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Some conversations might get messy, but hey, that's why we do laundry. We wash, we rinse, and we rebuild, because it's our duty to reclaim and control the narratives that are associated with our experience. So welcome to Dirty Laundry, y'all. Let's get this thing started with Kwame Speaks. Let's do this pre-wash.
What's going on, brother?
Can you hear me, brother? It's Mike check.
I can. Mic check, 1 2 1 2.
You can hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and jump right
Praise
into
Jesus.
this watch, brother.
All right. First of all, welcome back. I know you've been off a couple of weeks, out there saving the world. So welcome back, brother.
Absolutely,
right.
brother. I appreciate you.
No problem. We got a couple of things that we got going on. First of all, I have a Diddy update. Then I want to head over to the Tuskegee University to talk about what's going on over there with their dress codes. And then we have a Nolan Wells update because they did have a press conference this morning, which is basically the crux of the show. So first up, Diddy. Let's see here. Get my
What's
notes.
going on with my boy, man?
Man, Diddy's release date moves up again despite Jailhouse Brawl. So if you guys have been following the blogs a couple of weeks ago, if not last week, it was reported that he got into a major brawl and was put into solitary confinement. But despite that, just a week after word, just a week after, and allegedly he hurt dude bad. Whoever he got into a fight with, he hurt dude bad.
Playing with Diddy, man. It ain't
Listen,
like Diddy.
Apparently Diddy got hands. He's like baddies on Zeus Network. Anyway, just a week after a word broke that the Bad Boy founder ran the fade with a fellow inmate at FCI Fort Dix, the Federal Bureau of Prisons updated its records, and surprisingly, Diddy's release date just moved up yet again, according to TMZ, citing the official BOP records. Diddy is now slated to walk free on January 24th, 2028. That fresh January date slices another month off his time, moving him up from his previous release date of February 23rd, 2028. Diddy's timeline has been shifting like a game of musical chairs ever since he was handed a 50-month sentence. He was originally slated to stick around until June 2028, but thanks to sentence reductions, including shaved time after enrolling in a prison drug rehab program, his countdown keeps getting shorter. So we'll keep an eye on that as things get going on. But what are your thoughts on that?
Diddy on them tapes. I'm telling you, he knows something. I'm telling you, he keep moving stuff around, man. Diddy know what's going on, and
Diddy does.
They're like, hey, Diddy, we can't let you out too soon, but we're gonna keep reducing your sentence. Before you know it, Diddy gonna be back at home busting heads, just like he was when he left.
Now let's get into what's going on over in Tuskegee University. Now, Tuskegee University announces a new dress code banning bonnets, do-rags, and bedroom shoes. President pushes more professional behavior policy. Alabama's Tuskegee University has become one of the latest HBCUs to trend as the school announces a new dress code banning bonnets, do-rags, and bedroom shoes outside of the dorms. Tuskegee's president, Dr. Mark A. Brown, outlined the new changes in a message shared with the parents of the incoming students for the 2026-2027 academic year. Brown told addressees that the private HBCU is entering a period of transformation and renewal. He also mentioned that the school is expecting its largest new student enrollment in 32 years. Therefore, the university's new dress code will require students to arrive on campus professionally prepared and behaving as such. Brown mandated that students should wear a business suit and appropriate dress shoes for business meetings and other professional events. Brown said students are not permitted to wear revealing clothing in classrooms, dining areas, or at official university occasions like convocation.
Yes.
Yes. Additionally, inappropriate clothing includes bedroom shoes, bonnets, and do-rags, and do-rags. These items are not permitted in classrooms, the cafeteria, etc. Faculty members will be permitted to address students who do not follow the new university dress code. Brown also introduced new cell phone and attendance policies. Students will no longer be allowed to use their cell phones in classrooms unless permitted by professors. Devices must remain turned off to avoid instruction disruptions. As for attendance, Brown emphasized that students are required to attend class, as attendance is the foundation of academic success. The university will move forward and better monitoring attendance.
Hey, man, listen, I agree with everything that was implemented. And I know that's controversial. I know people will be like, what are you talking about? But hey, listen, without order, there shall be chaos.
I actually agree with you. I didn't know how I felt in the beginning. I do think this is taking away from like other major things, but I do feel like you like people think that you go to college just to chill, like you're going there to learn, to prepare for now I know some people were saying that well, some people were like, what's the difference between this and some and people wearing like locks or certain types of natural hairstyles? It's a huge difference because bonnets and do-rags are not a part of your body.
That's right.
They're not naturally part of your body. So, and on top of that, like, it's one thing if a job discriminates you against your hairstyle. It's another thing if you're going to your job looking a hot ass mess. So
I'm just saying,
I agree with this.
Too damn laxed. That's good. Yeah. And it's an HBCU. Rep better. Shit.
I agree. So then the last thing is the Nolan Wells update. So I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there was an update today they did have a press conference. Can I just say something, bro? Between you and I and the rest of the peoples,
Sure, say what you got to say.
If I can,
you get to air it out.
Yeah, if I can, I really don't understand why we're having these press conferences if they're not giving us major updates. Like I don't. I'm really annoyed by it. Actually, I did appreciate today's press conference in the sense that they brought other controversial cases to light. There were certain cases that I didn't even hear about before, and that I or did not getting a lot of light to them. However, there was no major push other than, it's already been broke in the news and the blogs that the audio tapes were being that from that audio engineer that
Right.
First of all, why did an unpaid non-government official have to go and do all of that when there's people being paid to investigate this case and they didn't do that? That's a whole nother conversation.
It's always misconduct. There's always some bullshit going on when it comes to us getting reciprocity or justice in this country. So with that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just there was really no major update from other than the fact that they have sent the audio tapes or the phone calls and the audio for it to be sent to a independent audio analysts and different audio analysts for them to kind of do exactly what the girl the audio engineer that volunteered to do it did already. But
sure,
they want to authenticate it, which I think they should, do everything by the book. But that lets me know that all of those people, first of all, the family should be vindicated. We as a culture should be vindicated because we were sitting there saying something ain't right, something ain't clean in the damn milk. But
how long? Shit, how long?
How long? But anyway, that's all I got for you, brother. Thanks for having me on, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the show. So let's get on into it.
Let's jump right into it, man. Let's go ahead and get into this spin cycle. man. Are we too comfortable, Black people? Have we become too comfortable as Black people, especially in a system that desegregation and integration was less than 100 years ago? Are we too comfortable? Do we think everything's fine now? I don't know. Run the video for me, please. Run it, please.
We thank you, Lord, for the beautiful 18 years that you blessed us with him. Thank you for the joy he brought not only to our family, but also to his friends and everyone in the community whose lives he touched. We will miss everything about him, from his quiet nature to the corny jokes, his gentle smile, the way he made everyone around him feel comfortable, loved, and at ease. Your absence has left an emptiness that can never truly be filled. A piece of our hearts will always be missing.
I want to start off by saying how proud I am of you, my son. You grew up to be a very young man that everyone enjoyed to be around. The constant lectures from me about having character, self-respect, self-discipline, and perseverance really hit home with you at an early age. You were not just making a name for yourself on the football field, the basketball court, and the baseball diamond, but you were also laying the groundwork for your little brother Elmore. I nicknamed you Mr. Cool Hands because it seemed like you was catching a touchdown every game. You wanted to be the best. So I poured all my knowledge into you.
I don't know about y'all, but I am tired of seeing Black families mourn the death of their children without reciprocity. That's why I'm asking the question: are we too comfortable? I mean, how many times we gonna see this? Like I'm over the, we shall overcome. I'm over that shit. I told myself that if anything was to ever happen to one of my children, if I do have to do a press conference, the only thing that I'm gonna say is, y'all know what the fuck it is, right? And excuse my expletives, but that what we just watched is it keeps happening over and over and over and over and over again. Have we become too comfortable, Black people? Our children leave home to float trips, parties, outings, and sometimes they don't make it back. Families are left searching for answers, demanding transparency, and wondering whether justice is being pursued with the same urgency for everyone else. It's just for everyone. Like everybody else gets urgency, but we get like shit. When they go looking for our kids, they do this. Oh shit, I don't see him. That's it. I can't do nothing about it. Or it's always, well, he was a bad kid, or he hung himself, or we don't see any foul play. We continue to see controversial claims of self-defense. We see incidents where Black people are told they don't belong in certain neighborhoods or public spaces. We see reports of suspicious deaths and hangings that leaves communities with more questions than answers. And we see a country that in many ways feels more divided and more violent than it has in years. So just because it's been reshaped and repackaged doesn't mean we are not experiencing the same realities. At what point do we stop accepting that's just the way it is? I guess that's just the way it is. Some things will never change, but I'm not complacent with that. I'm not comfortable with that. And you shouldn't be comfortable either. You should be more intentional about keeping your children in spaces where they have cultural identity, where they have people who look like them, where they have people who experience the same struggle as them. Come on, Black people. It's time for us to organize, right? Now, this isn't about fear, right? This isn't about fear. It's about demanding accountability. It's about protecting our families. It's about asking why some cases receive immediate answers while others seem to disappear from the national conversation. You quickly get your shit just swept up under the rug. Come on, Black people. Is it time for us to organize? Is it time for us to organize differently? That's what I'm saying. It's time for us to advocate more aggressively and become more intentional about practicing our communities, about protecting our communities. I'm sorry for saying practicing, protecting our communities and supporting the families that are still searching for justice. When people show you who they are, understand this. This is something we say all the time. When people show you who they are, believe them. We keep saying we won't change, but do our actions suggest we've become too comfortable with the very systems that have never fully accepted us? Is comfort costing us clarity? Let's unpack it when we come back from the commercial, y'all. Let's go to commercial break, and we're going to talk about it when we get back.
This is Tammy from Tammy's Take, and you're watching Pyro Media Network.
Hey, it's Dr. Nicole D. Vick from Dr. Victorious, and you're watching Pyro Media Network.
Black mama still crying on TV. These young brothers still dying on TV. Crackers on the camera still lying on TV. 3% rappers might put it on the CD. And our leaders, most of them speechless. How you gonna preach when you ain't trying to reach it?
Does anyone right now ever recall mental health assistance to slaves? Anybody remember sending in the therapist after I sold off your son, daughter, raped folks? At any point? Never. Second question, after slavery was officially over, now you're free. Anybody remember any therapy then? We know it's been rough, it's been deep for you, it's been difficult. We're gonna do a little group therapy. Anybody remember that? That would be no. Number 3, after slavery officially ended, both in the States, in the Caribbean, the British ended, do you remember whether or not trauma continued? Did the trauma continue for people of African descent? I need to know.
This is a clip from Dr. Joy DeGroy's lecture on post-traumatic slave syndrome. In this part, she asks a powerful question. After centuries of slavery, family separation, sexual violence, and dehumanization, who provided mental health care when slavery ended? She explains that freedom didn't erase the trauma, especially as racial violence and discrimination continued without treatment or acknowledgement. Her message is not that Black people are weak or damaged, but that their survival reflects extraordinary resilience. The lasting effects of historical trauma must be understood without ignoring the strength it took to endure it.
Okay, so now let's do the math. Hundreds of years of trauma, no treatment. Freed, more trauma, no treatment. What do you do the math? Do you think there may be residual impacts of that trauma? Of course there is. It didn't end, friends, and it hasn't ended yet. So I think on one point, African people and people of African descent are extremely resilient. Matter of fact, I think we're a miracle. Far be it for us to pathologize or to look and cast this idea of weak and sick people. Oh, on the contrary, we are profoundly resilient because we've done everything we've done thus far with no help, with not even the ability to have this discussion. As though it were possible, we escaped injury in all those hundreds of years and the years that followed.
I'm saying you hear it when my show comes on. Rest in peace, Big Red. He said, "Black mothers still crying on TV. These wicked people still lying on TV." You see what I'm saying? We have years and years and years of trauma to unpack, right? And the first video that we showed, the mother and the father were distraught. Do you think that does anything to them? White America could care less that somebody's grieving their son who went on a floating trip with who's supposed to have been his friends, but that's questionable. And just to not come back home. See, I think people don't understand that we are at war. I know we don't want to admit that. So to anybody who sends their child to war or who is drafted into war, the main thing that you want them to do is to make it home. Our children not making it home in this war. With the death of Nolan Wells, I think it's a conversation every Black family needs to have with our children and with our community. What happened to Kendrick Johnson? Everybody kind of forgot about him, right? The one who mysteriously killed himself, unalived himself, wrapped himself up in a gym mat and mysteriously jumped into a trash can and behind some bleachers and wherever else they could stuff him at. He did all of that on his own. Are we really supposed to believe he just rolled himself up inside a gym mat His family has spent years challenging the official findings and demanding more answers. Whether you agree or disagree, one thing is certain. There are still a lot of people who don't believe the full truth has been told, especially in that situation. I know me personally, I don't. Because like, how the fuck did he roll himself up in a mat? And excuse my expletive again, these situations like these have the tendency to boil my blood. You know, it's what the elderly people used to say, it's getting my dandruff up. Okay, Ashley Robinson, suicide. Did anybody forget about her? Like, I know people like, if you get an opportunity, you got a smartphone, go look up Kendrick Johnson and see who that is and see what was going on around that case. Ashley Robinson, suicide. Sure. I mean, think about it. Sure, that was a suicide. Sure it was. All right. I'm calling for transparency. I'm calling for accountability. And I'm calling on Black people to stop dismissing these cases before all the facts are known. I mean, come on now. We all on conferences. You know, you having a press conference. People, they flashing lights. But I guarantee you, if you touch one of theirs, they going to come burn your whole village down. They're going to come tear up the whole city over one of theirs. They're not going to rest. They're not going to rest until justice for them is done on behalf of one of theirs. So what about Black people? We get the same people that come, like you know, I'm not going to defame any other Black person while I'm on this platform, but I will say it's a reoccurring theme. We get the same people coming out saying, oh my God, we need justice, we need justice, we need justice. What we need is to organize. What we need is to separate. What we need is to protect ourselves the way other people are given the God-given right to protect themselves. The hell you asking for the right to protect your children for? I like to quote Tupac. He said, touch one of mine on everything I love, I will destroy everything you touch. Play the game, nigga. All out warfare, eye for eye. You see what I'm saying? See, that's your inalienable right to defend and protect your own. The United States itself has a rule that says it has the right to protect itself against enemies, foreign and domestic. And you're on a press conference asking people to bring you justice for your children. That sound right to you? Come on, Black America, do that sound right to you? Does that sound like something that makes sense to you? Like, hey, you killed my baby. I'm going to ask the system who, you know, put slave catchers in place to catch runaway slaves, and then they call it police, and then we call it justice. You know, all I could think about is how Medgar Evers had to wait a whole bunch of years. His wife had to wait a whole bunch of years until he lived out his whole entire life before she got justice for Medgar Evers. Emmett Till, shit, that old lady lived her years out before anybody decided to say, oh, this was a lie. You know, this was some bullshit. This didn't really happen. So how long are you going to wait on somebody to come deliver you out of this oppression, or are you going to recognize that you're at war? It's not a racial war, it's a cultural war. It's an inalienable right. It is a divine right to protect you and your family, and you are begging other people to give you justice. So enough is enough. We owe it to ourselves to ask questions, to demand answers. I know that for sure. Demand answers. And if you demand answers and you don't get answers, you might need to get you some. Now, am I advocating for violence? That's not what I'm doing. But I'm saying, at what point do you not ask to defend your family and refuse to accept uncertainty when a family is left searching for the truth? When do you decide that enough is enough? When do you stop trying to exchange niceties with people that are just giving you abhorrent behavior? When do you say, hey, you know what? I get it. I want the police to do their job. I do want them to do their job, but are they here to serve and protect? And what has history told us about that? Do you think Kendrick Johnson's family has gotten the justice that they deserve, and that man's organs was missing? In a world where we organ harvest, where people do human trafficking, when adrenochrome is what people use to stay young, the melanin in your skin is worth so much. I mean, how long? My question is how long? How long? How long you gonna sit with it? Because I guarantee you something. You touch my son, you touch my daughter, you touch my woman, you touch my mama, you touch my sister, you touch my cousin, you touch my family. That is an act of war, and everybody knows it. See, the thing is when black on black crime happens, the society we live in, they shape it and say it's black on black crime. Well, where the hell do you expect intertribal wars to happen? Black crime happens where black people live, where they typically live amongst other black people. White crime happens to other white people because they typically live amongst other white people. But the problem is that when we fight intertribal wars, it's called black on black crime. But when Germany goes to war with Rome, it's called war. It's not called white on white crime. But the point that I'm trying to make is that if somebody touches the United States, you know, most of the people who, we got to get our lick back, will be more than happy for America to rush into a war because they got to get their lick back. What's the difference? What's the difference? Tell me what the difference is. Somebody unalived your child and you at a press conference begging to get justice. I tell you what, your dog not even safe. I'm just being honest with you. Your dog ain't even safe. So while we sitting up worrying about, we shall overcome one day, what has history told you about begging for that kind of justice? If you could beg your way out of that, or if you can mediate your way out of that, or if you can appeal to someone's empathy or sympathy in those situations, then hell, I'm led to believe that those situations wouldn't even exist in the first place. I'm just saying, all I'm saying is it's time for you to think. It's time for us to think about what we are doing. It's time for us to think about it. I got to take a break because, I need to take a drink. So when we come back from commercial break, we're going to check some facts. I'll see y'all in a minute.
Hey, it's Pastor Kim from It's Just Kim Live Show, and you're watching Pyro Media Network.
The news is divided. Ground News puts it back together, with coverage from thousands of outlets around the world in one place. So you can spot sensational reporting, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. Beside every headline, you'll see who owns the source, how reliable it is, and if they have a political bias. Multiple perspectives side by side, giving you a well-rounded view of today's biggest stories. Visit ground.news to learn more.
Hey, how y'all doing? Real quick, this is Daryl Walter, host of the Daryl Walter Show. I know. And you are watching Pyro Media Network.
mama still crying on TV. These young brothers still dying on TV. Crackers on the camera still lying on TV. 3% rappers might put it on the CD. And our leaders, most of them speechless. How you gon' preach when you ain't trying to reach?
One of the reasons white people hate black people is because we cannot tolerate black joy. We cannot tolerate black intelligence. We cannot tolerate black beauty. We cannot tolerate black confidence. We cannot tolerate black camaraderie. We cannot tolerate anything that frees a black person. There's a level of racism that I think hits differently for black people than it does for Asian people or Hispanic people or Middle Eastern people or Native Americans even. Each one of those things that people think regarding other races are different with black people, I think. Because again, we don't like black people to be educated. We don't like them to be successful. We don't want black judges. We don't want anything for black people that doesn't directly affect and entertain us. So we can have a black nanny. We can have a black house cleaner. We can have a black teacher. We can have a black coach. We can have black players, but only for the specific things that we feel comfortable with. I think about all those sweet children that have been killed, murdered, when they go out with their white friends. And I think that as much as the trauma of slavery comes down through the DNA, I think also the cruelty of slavery, the desire to hurt, the desire to steal and kill and humiliate and torment and disappear black people is what comes down through the DNA. I think when you do something like that for long enough and you pass it down for the many years that slavery and enslaved people were in chains, that is an instinct with us, cruelty. And I think you can see it in many videos. All the white women and white men that are telling black kids and black families to get the hell out of here, you don't belong. We just don't want you to have more than us, honey. We just don't want you to be prettier. We don't want you to be the beauty standard. We don't want you to be judges or anything like that. We want you to be below us, beneath us. And we've tried so hard to keep you down, and we failed so badly. Because like Maya Angelou said, still you rise. We may hate you, we may beat you, we may do those things, and it makes us crazy that you keep coming back and getting better. We can't stand it. I don't know why that is. White people are the ones that have the ancestors that were closely related to the apes. We are so similar to Cro-Magnon man, Neanderthals. We're fucking pale monsters. I really hate being white sometimes. I'm super ashamed. I think the cruelty lives in us, and it comes down as instinct.
Hey, I mean, listen, who better to tell you the culture of white people than a white person? All right. I know you heard Dr. Joy DeGruy. I call her Dr. Joy DeGruy. Forgive me if I'm massacring your name, Doc, but I do own the book that we show, right? And I'd like to read an excerpt from this book, right? So check this out. How does the society that we live in today view Black children? In a 2014 article published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, researchers from the University of California, Los Angeles, the National Center for Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder in Boston, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania State University, and the University of Pennsylvania investigated how Black boys were perceived as it related to childhood innocence. Here is what the research revealed. The social category, children, defines a group of individuals who are perceived to be distinct with essential characteristics, including innocence and the need for protection. Haslam Rothschild and Ernst, 2000. The present research examined whether Black boys are given the protections of childhood equally to their peers. We tested 3 hypotheses. The Black boys are seen as less childlike than their white peers. that the characteristics associated with childhood will be applied less when thinking specifically about Black boys relative to white boys, and that these trends would be exacerbated in contexts where Black males are dehumanized by associating them implicitly with apes. So they don't even see your children as human. And I also like to call out this. Does anybody remember this little boy? Anybody know who this is? This is George Stinney. You should do your research and figure out who George Stinney is. George Stinney was treated as an adult, and he was actually a child. So while you're looking for justice from a system that views your children as apes and inhumane, I don't know what the hell you're looking for. Let's talk about it, right? Because people like to say, I know the common narrative is that this was so long ago. Oh my God, why are you bringing up slavery? My family never owned a slave, and we're in such a better position in this country in 2026, right? Well, let's check the facts. Robert Fuller. Know that name? Black people, you should look it up. In 2020, in Palmdale, California, found hanging from a tree, initially ruled suicide after investigation, but the case prompted national protest and calls for independent reviews. Now, wait a minute. Now, I know somebody can hang themselves, right? But if I know Black people like I know Black people or people of color, we know that we got hung from trees. So if we did decide to unalive ourselves, do you think that we would pick a damn tree to unalive ourselves? You gotta think, Ray. It's gas money, Ray. Malcolm Horsch, 2020, Victorville, California, found also hanging from a tree near a homeless encampment. Authorities ruled suicide, and activists questioned the findings. We still asking questions like, hey, he was hung from a tree, but you got something that's been going on in this country for the better part of maybe almost 400 years. Well, let me say it right. Not 400 years, because the KKK and all the hangings didn't start until the slaves was emancipated, until technically the slaves were freed. But even that's a telling story, isn't it? You heard the lady say, we don't want Black people to have joy. So don't you think it was a lot of happy Negroes running from the slave houses? Dominique Alexander, 2020. Notice that these are in the 20s. Not 2006, not 2005, but in 2020, Manhattan, New York, found hanging, I'll say it again, hanging in a public park. Death ruled a suicide, but the circumstances drew public scrutiny. Hold on for a second. Are you seeing a common narrative? Motherfuckers is hanging from trees, and people are saying, oh yeah, those are suicides. Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. Let's keep going. Demetravion Trey Reed, 2025. 2025. I'm going to say it for those people that's sitting in the back. 2025 in Cleveland, Mississippi. Oh, here it is again. Here it is again. I bet y'all can guess where he was hanging from. Hanging from a tree near a university. Investigation has drawn national attention. You hear that? It's the same thing, with family and advocates seeking a greater transparency. So you're going to these people and you're saying, we need to know the truth. Ray Charles could see the truth. Stevie Wonder rocking in the chair. Hey, Ray Charles doing this. Well, they hung them a Negro. They can see that. Common narrative. It sounds like a script. Let's keep going. Juliana Nitsa, 2026. Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm going to say it. Hold on. Wait a minute. What year is this? What year is this? Hold on. What year is this? Oh, yeah, it's 2026. Charlotte, North Carolina. 16-year-old found hanging on a church property. Wait a minute. Found what? Like hanging from a church property. 16-year-old. Investigated, right? Generated widespread concern and calls for a thorough review. People asking for a thorough review. Hey, listen, let me tell you something. Don't let me find one of mine. Nobody's safe. I'm just keeping it real. Unarmed 19-year-old, 2026, Washington, D.C. I mean, do we have to keep going? Do we have to keep saying what's obvious? It's obvious, right? It's an obvious thing, right? And I don't care what people say. I know what people say. Oh my God, this is race baiting. Oh my God, you're trying to start a race war. Oh my God, this is, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Why can't you just let it be? Hey, I tell you what, if people start hanging white children, it's going to be an insurrection in this motherfucker. I'm going to keep it real with you. And yes, I used another expletive. Get over it, right? Because when white people got mad, they stormed the White House, and then the president said, we gonna get them reparations. So don't tell me they don't get back. When white people get upset, they storm the White House. They don't do no Million Man March. Well, they do one, but they Million Man March on your ass. They come get you. They don't be in the streets with hey, we need to do. No, they come for you. So I tell you what, I got a couple of questions for Black people and to my white audience and to any other audience that's watching my show. My question is when have Black people not been at war in this country? When have we not been fighting for inclusion? When have we not been fighting for rights? I'll wait. See, I'm a little perturbed with it because I'm tired of seeing Black mamas crying on TV. I'm tired of that. They shot my baby. Listen, I don't want to hear people talk about Black on Black crime. We know we got our issues, intertribal wars that we fight, just like the Hutus was fighting with the Tutsis, right? But guess what? When somebody else comes into Italian territory, you know what the Italians say? The Italians say, I don't give a shit what's going on. You touch one of ours, we coming to get you. But don't Italians take out their own all the time? Things that make you go, So with that, let's go ahead and rinse this out right quick so we can see how long people have been getting lynched. Our book of the week is, you guessed it, 100 Years of Lynching by Rudolph Ginsburg. Now, the last time I checked, Ginsburg wasn't no Negro name. So the book is 100 Years of Lynching by Ralph Ginsburg. Ginsburg compiles vivid newspaper accounts from 1886 to 1960 to provide insight and understanding of the history of racial violence. First published in 1962, 100 Years of Lynchings is as relevant today as it was then. Is anybody going to argue with that is listening to the show? It presents the reader with vivid newspaper accounts of a red record of racial atrocities. It is a simple and straightforward presentation. So somebody named Ralph Ginsburg, and when you go look up who Ralph Ginsburg is, you're going to say, oh, it's the same thing that the lady said in the beginning. 100 Years of Lynching by Ralph Ginsburg, right? So for me, I want everybody to wake up and smell the coffee, and this is specifically for my people, right? This is a message that I want to send to people that are my specific ethnic proclivity, that look like me, that are considered Black, and that's classism, which is a caste system. But we're not going to talk about that. We'll talk about that on another show. I want you to understand something. How long you going to try to sit at the table with people that don't want you there? How long are you going to romanticize white wealth standards and believe that they're going to let you sit at their tables, give you the same justice, treat you the same way? Hell, they'll get more mad if a dog was hung than a black person. And I'm just keeping it real. So with that, let's put it on the clothesline. Considering the countless deaths happening across the country, the unsolved mysteries and the unanswered questions, it's almost like we're watching a television show. Black children are coming up missing. Black families are searching for answers. Black people are being found hanging in the country in 2026. And I can't help but to wonder, what kind of situation are we creating when people become frustrated from feeling like their questions aren't being answered and their lives aren't being valued? At some point, we have to take a deeper look at the ecosystem we're living in. You know, the thing that I talk about all the time, a lion is a feline and a tiger is a feline, but they don't live in the same ecosystem. A polar bear is a bear, and a grizzly bear is also a bear, but they don't live in the same ecosystem. Why aren't we flourishing in this system? Why aren't we prospering at a level that we should? Why does it continue to feel like we're trying to survive inside a system that was never designed with our success, protection, or prosperity in mind? Those are conversations we can't be afraid to have, y'all. I get it. That's why we call it dirty laundry. And I told y'all, some of these conversations are going to get messy, but that's why we do it, right? So tonight, I want you to sit back and really ingest everything we've talked about. Don't just hear it. Don't just hear what I'm saying. Think about it. Question it. Talk to your children. Talk to your families. Talk to your community. And as always, don't forget to take your life off spin cycle. And tonight's show, because awareness means nothing if it doesn't lead to action. I dedicate this show tonight to Emmett Till, who just had a birthday, or birthday is coming up. Happy birthday, Emmett Till. Breonna Taylor, rest in paradise. Sandra Bland, Philando Castillo, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, and Kendrick Johnson. Rest in paradise, and know that we haven't forgotten about you, and the fight continues. Good night, y'all.
What up, everybody? This your boy KO. If you want to follow my content and see more of the interviews, you can follow me at IAMAKING Studios on Instagram, or the same thing on YouTube. Hey, you never know where I'm going to pull up next. Get at your boy.
Thank you for watching Pyro Media Network. For more information, please visit pyromedianetwork.com.